Bush and me here to talk about the playoffs. It's playoff season, baby. Bush, what do the playoffs mean to you?
Hey, man, it's when to go home. It's everything gets ramped up a little bit. Everything you did in the regular season, throw that shit out the window. It's one and done. It don't matter what you did, all the accolades, all the stats, everything that you did in the regular season does not matter. You got to win, you stay in. You lose it, back to the crib you go, man.
Listen to my man, because I don't know if you knew this, but you were in you had 9 playoff appearances.
Wow. Yeah.
You were 5-4 in playoff games, 2 NFC Championship appearances, and a Super Bowl win, baby.
Yes. Postseason football, man.
He knows what he's talking about when it comes to playoffs. Other stats we saw when we looked you up: 30 false starts, 16 holding penalties.
Wow.
In your career.
Wow.
But
I'm glad I have tequila in here. Jeez, I didn't know you were coming out with the bow and arrow just to get me in a bag.
I'm not done. Hold on. But 5,236 snaps. So to only have 46 penalties in 5,236 snaps, that's 0.08% of the time. That's a hell of a career, man.
I appreciate it. You know,
I was getting to the compliment. I just went through the.
Yeah, you had to beat me up first, huh? Beat me up. Yeah, I feel you.
All right, playoffs, baby, playoffs.
Let's get it.
Win or go home. Let's get into it. First game Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Colts at Bills. Bills are a 6.5-point favorite. Over/under is 51.5. It's the highest on the board all day. They expect this to be high scoring, back and forth. Bush, what do you got?
What's the spread again on this one?
6.5, less than a touchdown.
For the Bills. Okay. Well, I'll let you give your analysis now. 6.5. I don't know if the Bills are going to beat the Colts by 6.5. So, but I will say if you're looking at a straight up winner for this game, I'm taking the Bills. I like the Bills in this game. I'm a big fan of what Josh Allen's doing. His game has progressed throughout the season and has progressed from last year until this year. You know, I'm not going to say we were critical of him last year, but there was definitely a couple of things that we felt like he could improve upon and he has. And he has put himself and his team in a good position because he's playing at an almost MVP caliber level. You know, he's had almost 40 touchdowns. He has 37 touchdowns on the year, almost a 100 rating of the year. He has almost 1,000 yard receivers in Diggs, and Cole Beasley just missed the 1,000 yard mark by like 30 yards or something like that. I'm a big fan of their defense. They've been coming alive pretty solid here later on in the season, and they've done a really great job as a team of rallying around each other and putting up points. They've been exciting to watch the last 3-4 weeks of the NFL season, and that's the kind of momentum that you want, that you aspire to have when you do go into the playoffs.
So who are you taking?
I'm going Bills. Hey, it would be a letdown for the Bills and the momentum that they have, that if they went to the playoffs and got knocked out the first round, it would be a big shock. So I'm going Bills.
So I felt bipolar when I was doing my analysis for this game. I was going Colts and I was going Bills. Like you said, it's hard to go against the Bills right now. They're hot. Josh Allen, 15 touchdowns in his last 5 games, 3 a game. They got the 4th-ranked offense in the league, killing it right now. But you look on the other side of the ball, 7th-ranked defense. Their Colts defense is allowing 332 yards a game, 8th in the NFL. They can show up and be competitive against this team. I'm looking for like a Green Bay Colts type game. They matched up earlier this year, and there was a high-scoring game. But people think high-scoring means bad defense. I'm not thinking this is going to be a bad defensive game. I think the Colts defense could create some points to make it high-scoring. The most important thing to me, though, is going to be Phillip Rivers has to play mistake-free football.
Look, and I totally agree with you on that. Phillip is going to have to play his best game of the season, you know, because this is a potent Bills team that, you know, that they have to go and travel to. But listen, man, the Bills have 26 takeaways on the year. That's 3rd in the NFL. That's very solid. So what it is, the Bills defense are creating extra opportunities for Josh Allen and for their offense. And that's been very solid. And another great thing that the Bills have been doing this year, is that they're number one on third down efficiency when you're talking about the offensive side of the ball. They are 49.6% when it comes to completion percentages when you're talking about their offense and third downs and staying on the field. Those are the two stats that I feel good about the Bills being able to take advantage of this week and maybe throughout the playoffs.
Well, you get into the gambling numbers here. The Bills, are 11-5 against the spread this season. That's tied for best with Miami. Colts are 8-8 against the spread. The Bills have covered 5 straight games against AFC opponents. So the Bills are rolling here. I just think the Colts are going to show up. I think they're built to win this season with Rivers, the addition of Rivers there, the addition of Buckner. I think they're built to win the season. I think they're going to keep it very competitive, and I'm taking the points. I'm taking the 6.5, maybe buy it up to 7 so you get the full touchdown. But I think the Colts will keep this one close. Prediction here, I'm going to say 31-27, high-scoring game. Bills win, but Colts will cover. Take the Colts in the points.
Solid. Game 2.
Game 2, we got the Rams. I know we hate talking about the Rams during playoff time. I'm sorry. But the Rams are playing the Seahawks, 4:40 Eastern time. Seattle's favored by 3.5. Over-under is 42.5. That's low. They think there's going to be low scoring. The Seahawks are 12-4. The Rams are 10-6. The biggest question here is going to be Jared Goff. Is he playing? Yes. Is he not playing? You agree?
That's a huge. I mean, that's to me. That's the game. You know, Jared Goff has played some good games, and he's had some so-so games this year. But you need him. You need his leadership. You need his arm talent back there, commanding that huddle on offense. If you want the Rams to go to the next level in the playoffs, this is a Seahawks team. It's the battle of the wide receivers. I'm very excited about the passing attack of this game, even if Jared Goff can't play, because you have 4 receivers who either got over 1,000 yards or almost got 1,000 yards. It is the top-ranked defense, though, when you have the Rams. They come in and they can get after the quarterback. Listen to this, though. The Rams sacked Russell Wilson in their 2 earlier matchups in the regular season 11 times. They got to him 11 times in 2 meetings. This game is on the offensive line of the Seattle Seahawks. You have got to contain Aaron Donald in the middle. You got to put 2 people on him. You have to put 2 people on him every play. Leonard Floyd is rushing the passer well on the outside. When you get pressure up the middle and pressure on the outside, that's where the defensive opportunities come into play. And they're the number 1 ranked defense for a reason, because they create turnovers, they sack the quarterback, and they put the quarterback in a position where he's scrambling and making throws earlier than he wants to, and they're going to be off target. That's where their defense is able to pick the ball off so much. It's going to be a tough matchup.
I think it'll be a good matchup, low scoring. You said the key is going to be the offensive line for Seattle, which is very true, because the Rams bring in the number 1 defense in yards allowed, the number 1 defense in points scored. But another big question here is going to be Seattle's defense, because we've kind of seen the Jekyll and Hyde of them. First 8 games of the year, they were the worst out there, giving up points to everybody. They were giving up, it was 38 points a game, 38.6 points a game. Third worst in the NFL. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Now, the last 8 games, they're giving up 16.3 points a game, best in the league.
Yeah.
So they're trending in the right direction.
Well, you get Jamal Adams back. And it sucks because he's kind of a question mark because he banged his shoulder up in week 17. So we're going to see how he feels, if he's going to play. He's a tough individual. I think he will play. But this guy missed a bunch of games and he still had 9.5 sacks on the season. Okay? So he is the difference maker when it comes to the Seattle defense. And the addition of Carlos Dunlap has been very solid and has definitely been kind of the spark that the defense from Seattle needed. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a good matchup. But I'm going with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks and their receivers. Look, Tyler Lockett has 100 catches and over 1,000 yards. DK Metcalf, 1,300 yards maybe on 80-something catches. Man, look, they're very explosive down the field. They got to get their running backs more involved, and I think they will. But like I said, The offensive line of Seattle is going to have to step up all day long because Aaron Donald is itching for another Super Bowl opportunity. Selfishly, I hope the Seattle Seahawks go. I hope they beat them. To be honest, I still have a bad taste in my mouth from that.
I know you do. Wash it out. Drink that tequila. I'm gonna go the other way on this one, just because I'm gonna wait and see if Goff is playing before I lock it in. Before I put my money on it. But I think defense wins championships, and this Rams defense could make a run in the playoffs. All they have to do on offense is not turn the ball over, make a few big plays here or there. I think the Rams can win this game. Seattle's at home, right? But, it's not what it used to be. It's not the home field advantage. So I'm going Rams 20-17 in this one in a close, low-scoring game.
Solid pick.
Third game of the night. The Bucs.
The NFC least, the team that made it out the NFC least. The Washington football team. Oh, I'm sorry. Tampa goes to FedEx Field. I am
Washington
sorry.
not only snuck in the playoffs, they're hosting a game.
Yes.
It's going to be 30 degrees in D.C.
The big matchup in this game is going to be the passing attack from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay? Big question mark again. Mike Evans. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? He hyperextended his knee. Chris Godwin is playing solid. AB, he's coming along. Gronkowski is a totally different person from the first half to the second half of the season. But they're going against a really strong Washington football team, pass defense. This is going to be exciting. This is the matchup because Tom Brady loves to air it out, and the Washington football team is one of the best in the league when it comes to eliminating or keeping the opposing team's big plays at a minimum. So that's like one of the matchups that I'm really encouraged. That I really want to see.
You got 7-9 versus 11-5.
Yeah.
You got Alex Smith versus Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Washington has the second best defense in yards allowed and in points scored. I think they're going to give Brady a rough day. I think this is going to surprise a lot of people how close this game actually is. I think Tampa Bay is planning for a long playoff run. We've seen what happened to the Ravens when they did that the past couple of years. You kind of get caught up in that first game. I think they're talented enough. I mean, we're still waiting to see on Mike Williams. I think they're talented enough. Mike Evans, I'm sorry. I think they're talented enough and fundamentally sound enough to overcome this game. I think they'll get caught up for a little bit. They're going to come out victorious in this game, but I think Washington's going to keep it close. Maybe we have the lead for maybe into the third quarter, and then Thomas Edward Patrick Brady will bring them back and win the game. I'm going Bucs 24-17. Take the points in Washington.
24-17. Listen, Donovan Smith, Tristan Wirfs. It's going to be a big day. Chase Young already talking trash. He already talking about he wants Brady. The offensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to take that personal. They have to go in here and they have to dominate this game. This is a game that the opposing team, they're not supposed to be in from the jump. If Tampa wants to send a statement to their opponents, if they plan on making it to the next couple of rounds, this is a statement game. Okay, you cannot keep this game close. I'm going Tampa Bay over the Washington football team by at least 10 points.
Ooh, take them.
But like you said, it's going to be a little rough for Tom and Tampa Bay early on in this game. They're not going to blow this. They're not going to like blow the top off of this until middle to third quarter.
You pulling a Chris Carter Hall of Fame speech? It was a bumpy ride, but it's a smooth landing.
Hey, it's all about the landing, brother.
The biggest bet that they have record of right now in the playoffs is a $1.07 million wager that someone internationally placed on the Washington football team plus 8.5. The biggest bet so far, 7 figures. Somebody put 7 figures on this Washington team. I'm rolling with them. 8.5.
Who has 7 figures just laying around that you can just throw on a game? Like, what do you do for a living if that's what you're placing on the game? That's solid. That's
a nice house you got there.
It ain't bad. It ain't bad. Listen up. That was Saturday.
There you guys have it. Yep. There you guys have it. Those are our games. Check them out. Hope you guys like them. And we'll be back with our picks for tomorrow.